Veterans, your VA disability check is going up again in 2026. But how much more are you actually getting? And will this increase keep up with inflation?
This isn't just another headline. The 2026 COLA increase is official. And if you get VA compensation, DIC, or pension benefits, this directly affects your monthly compensation.
We're breaking down what this year's 2.8% rate really means, how VA calculates it, and what veterans can do right now to stay financially ahead of rising costs.
Exactly. I'll explain it from the inside, how VA raters apply the COLA, what you can expect on your next check, and a few smart money tip veterans should think about going into 2026.
Hello and welcome to Prepare to Compete, where we talk all things VA benefits, real estate, entrepreneurship, and more. Kenneth Davis, how you feeling today, my brother?
I'm feeling up, ready to go, just like this COLA.
Absolutely. This is wonderful. The news is out for our veterans here, and thank you guys for watching and participating with us. We want to kind of explain everything and really even touch on some other things that are going on in the world here. I know the government shutdown hopefully is over by the time that you're watching this, but veterans have been hit hard this year. So hopefully this COLA increase does something to kind of lighten that load.
Yeah. There's just been so many different nuances and just the climate of the energy of where the United States stands, right? It's been so many different impactful events that have occurred. So just really excited so we can be able to kind of really navigate and cut through to some of the weeds that help veterans. Okay.
Absolutely. So as we get into it, let's start here. So Kenneth, exactly what is COLA and why do veterans get one every year?
Great question. COLA, it's very simple, you guys. Listen, it's a cost of living adjustment. It's designed to keep the benefits aligned with inflation. All right. So again, as we continue to live our lives, guess what? Things get more and more expensive. So with that being said, the VA typically is aligned with Social Security in regards to COLA increases, which this year has been increased to about 2.8%. Again, it's official and it's come out obviously here in the month of October 2025, when generally that's when the decision is rendered by Congress, right? So again, that's official of 2.8% increase. Okay, it's not a bonus. No, this is a permanent raise to preserve your purchasing power. All right, so it's very important. Again, rising costs are continuously on the rise. This is going to kind of steady that will bridge the gap in relation to increasing costs and also what you guys receive.
Absolutely. And now, so when we're speaking of COLA, now is this something that the VA decides, or does this just follow what Social Security Administration is doing there?
So there's been a lot of nuanced information and beyond that. Let's just put it this way. Whatever Social Security is typically going to receive in regards to cost of living adjustments, VA typically is in line with that, okay? We can go down kind of the conversations on how it should be a split decision in regards to what the VA receives, in regards to what the Social Security receives. We can go in and go to the details of that, but let's just look at it like this holistically. If whatever Social Security is we're going to be receiving, typically is what the VA is going to be receiving.
Absolutely. Okay, so it kind of correlates together a lot of times. So
Yeah.
now, obviously, we want to kind of start getting into the numbers here, right? So, we had a video regarding the potential COLA increase, and we were pretty accurate with that. So, thank you all for checking out that video. But the veterans really want us to get into the numbers. So, what is the 2026 COLA increase, and how does it translate to real dollars for the veteran?
Well, let me tell you. So how it works is this. The 2.8% cost of living adjustment, this is a very substantial, again, increase, right? So over time, it's going to be able to represent more and more and more dollars, right? So for the veteran themselves, what it looks like is this. So if you're receiving in 2025, your base compensation rates, okay, the base compensation rate is going to be 1102 with 4 cents. Okay. Now the new rate is going to be 1132 with 90 cents. All right. I know it does not sound like a lot, but let me tell you, over time, it continues to get larger. All right. Because next year, there may be another cost of living adjustment because we understand that everything increases over time. All right. Now, for 100%, let's see what the 100% looks like. The 100% is going to be 38.31 currently, okay, with 30 cents. And the new rate is going to be 39.38 with 57 cents. All right. So that is a pretty large adjustment. All right. So I want you guys to understand continuously making sure that these adjustments are being applied to your file is going to be very, very keen for you to do.
Absolutely. Definitely works out there. So at 50% rate, veterans are going to receive about an extra $30.86. And for 100%, they're receiving $107.27, right? So, like we said before, this is just for the veteran. So now if you have dependents and you have a spouse, different things of that nature, of course, your number is going to be calculated a little differently, and we can actually provide you that information. We'll have some information on the screen here, but if you want that complete information, definitely reach down in the comments and we'll absolutely love to provide that to you officially there.
For sure. For sure.
All right. So now I know you say the 2.8% is a good increase, right? It's definitely designed to keep up with inflation. But, veterans are angry about, what's going on in the world, right? And there's a lot of changes. And do you feel like the 2.8% cost of living is enough?
Well, honestly, no. And why I tell you this is because we are not ungrateful for the increase. But I'm going to tell you, the veteran themselves is in need. Okay. There are many veterans that are currently living check to check and dealing with having the dealings of understanding that they may not receive a meal towards the end of the month because of the benefits that they receive. Most veterans, again, well, I'm not going to say most, some veterans have the opportunity to be able to stretch their funds. Some, unfortunately, are living from when it hits their bank account and also living, and unfortunately, in soup kitchens by the end of the month with nothing in that account. So when we talk about having a 2.8% increase, I think it's a great increase for those who are stable. But for some, I think taking a look, a little deeper dive will be a little bit more helpful.
Absolutely right. So, obviously the government and these increases are designed a certain way, but we definitely need to understand the actual rate of inflation and what the cost of gas, the cost of a gallon of milk, and cost of healthcare premiums and other things for veterans to support their family is rising, right? And I know a lot of those things can be covered, especially if the veteran is 100% service connected for their entire family. But some veterans may still have to pay for healthcare coverage for their family and, worry about kids going to college and different things of that nature. So this is why we always, preach regarding maximizing your benefits and your eligibility to hopefully get to that 100% service connection. So some of those expenses are mitigated by different benefits that you qualify for at that time.
True indeed, true indeed. And budgeting, obviously we can't only put the onus on the government, the Department of Veterans Affairs. We also have to take some accountability. Again, being financially astute is not as easy as people think. So having again, a financial literacy, being involved and being covered to be able to support what we're doing here is going to be able to kind of give a very, very understanding in what the veteran is going through. So as long as we're being educated and continuously educated, you can be able to get the education here in regards to financial literacy that's going to help you and support you towards the end of the month, but also receive other benefits that is going to supplement the costs. So just taking that into consideration taking that into consideration as well, because it matters.
Definitely matters for sure. And, it matters when veterans are going to receive these funds, right? So now getting to the next part here, when will veterans actually see the extra money in their bank accounts?
That's going to happen January 1, 2026. Okay. That is going to be the date that you should actually see your benefits deposit to your bank account. All right. Or receiving your check in the mail for those increased amount of benefits.
So some veterans are continuously in the process of maximizing their VA benefits. So they may have a pending claim or looking to file an appeal. So in those scenarios, what if someone has a pending claim or an appeal? Will their back pay include the new COLA increase?
The back pay will not include the COLA increase. However, you will receive a cost of living adjustment on the dated date of January 2026, which is based upon something called omnibus. So they're going to go ahead and reflect that on in December, okay, 2025, so to be paid on January 1, 2026. So those adjustments are made when you actually receive the rendered decision. So before you receive those decisions, those adjustments are already currently made. And then also you can view those adjustments in your actual notification letter.
No, great point, Kenneth. But what I want to make sure that we stress for the veterans as well is that timing matters. Okay. So now you could have a pending claim currently, whether it's a new claim or it's a appeal that is filed prior to January 1st, 2026, and not receive your decision until the spring or summer of 2026. So if we give an example of this, we are entering in November 2025. So veteran puts their claim in November 1st, 2025. The decision is not rendered until April 1st, 2026. Now, for the back pay for that particular veteran, what does that look like? Will it already calculate that COLA increase for those few months of the beginning of the year?
Yes, it will. It will calculate the actual benefits that's going to be adjusted currently. Okay. Your decision does not go out without that being calculated. Okay. So let's understand that before you receive your decision, those adjustments are already made. Now, when we're talking about retirement pay and different things of that nature, it gets a little bit tricky, but essentially, those adjustments are already made.
Definitely good to know that because veterans care, and a lot of times they're calculating their back pay, and there's so many different ways where the number could be misleading on what you actually get versus your calculation, because you have certain things with the effective date, and then you also have the COLA increases and things. So we're here if you need support in those areas. Absolutely reach out to us. We'll love to assist you, but just know the VA is calculating those things. But if you have questions about your effective dates and things, we have other videos that go way in depth regarding those topics, because when you're trying to do those calculations, there's so much that goes into it, right? So, if it's off a couple $100 here or there, it just may be just because of an increase or a calculation like that. But if you're off a couple $1,000s, VA may have got something wrong, and you definitely want to look into that yourself or have an expert look into that for you.
True indeed. True indeed.
Great, Kenneth. So knowing this information, what should veterans be doing right now in preparation for next year?
Great question. So, first and foremost, we want to make sure veterans are understanding to make sure you are entering your correct direct deposit information. Make sure your direct deposit is up to date, because one, not only is the COLA increase going to be again being applied, but the VA is going to be stopping paper checks, right? So with that being said, we want to make sure that that is applied as well. That is something that is, again, been talked about for a long time here, in issuing, definitely issuing some type of other form of payment metric. But we don't want to miss out because you haven't updated your direct deposit information. Next, I would say, specifically, make sure you are updating your marital status. A lot of veterans miss their updates in regards to marital status based upon, unfortunately, not going in to update their file. If you recently got married, if you recently had a child, if your child has turned 18 and supposed to dropped off, but is a school age child and now is in college or recently divorced, we want to make sure that you are taking into account that that increase is going to be also adjusted by your dependents that are basically added as well.
Absolutely, Kev. There's so much for our veterans to be aware of. And there's some other account changes here. Veterans often go to VA.gov to log in, and there's various ways to log into your account. You have the ID Me access, you have the login.gov, you have My Healthy Vet, and you also have the DS login. Now, DS login was supposed to be removed as of October 2025. Due to government shutdown and other reasons, it is still operational. However, you want to make sure that you get alternative account access because that will be going away very, very soon.
Yes, yes. And making sure again that you are signed up for these platforms, and also ID.me, login.gov. They're very secure platforms, you guys. This is going to be able to access, again, government sites. So if you're trying to access a government site, please just go ahead and sign up for it because it's going to be able to help you out in the long run, to include also receiving other access points, such as, again, verification methods. So if anything is going to be verifiable, those two are really going to be one of the primary sources that's going to assist you throughout this process and going to be very helpful within.
So bottom line, the 2026 COLA bump, it helps, but it's not a game changer. It's meant to help protect what you've already earned, not increase your lifestyle.
Think of it as a safety net, not a raise. The best move is to use this update as a reminder to plan ahead. Review your benefits, your expenses, and get proactive about your financial goals.
And if you want us to break down the full 2026 VA pay chart or talk about other benefits veterans can use to offset inflation, drop a comment below. We'll love to produce that content for you.
If you need any help with your claim or appeal, please reach out to Veterans of Veterans, as we want to be able to make sure that we're assisting and answering any questions that we can with you, okay? We want to make sure that we're educating you up and put you first as a veteran. We'll make sure your case is squared away and make sure everything is good to go.
Absolutely. Thanks for watching. And as always, prepare to compete. We're out. Peace.